Elite Facts presents
Useful self-defense tips that may save your life.
7.
Clench your fist correctly. If the option of running is out of the question, you're going to need to learn how to throw a proper punch, and just closing your hand into a fist simply isn't enough. The last thing you're going to want to do is throw a weak punch. This isn't going to do much in helping you and may only make your attacker more aggressive. For starters, when you make a fist, make sure it's tightly clenched. Don't leave any slack. This will only cushion your punches more. If it's clenched tightly, it'll be almost as solid as a rock when you throw a punch at your aggressor and will do more damage to them. Next, make sure that when you clench your fist that your thumb isn't pointing upwards. This is a common mistake made by many people. Sure, let's say you punch someone in the face. You could potentially poke them in the eye with your thumb pointing upwards. However, you won't be thinking about where you're going to be punching your attacker. If you throw a punch with your thumb sticking upwards, you're going to break it on impact, thus doing more damage to yourself rather than your aggressor. Also, don't hide your thumb under your clenched fingers. Once again, this can lead to your fracturing your thumb. Instead, just make sure that when you clench your fist that your thumb is clenched inwards, but is resting on your fingers. If you follow these tips, no matter what kind of punch you throw, you're going to do some damage to your aggressor.
6.
Use your elbows if necessary. The only thing more dangerous than a clenched fist if you're being attacked is your elbows. This can be great if you're in close quarters with your attacker. You don't need much room to throw an elbow, and the damage that can be done using an elbow strike is going to help you in the long run. This shouldn't be something you use straight away, as you may put yourself in more danger by running up and elbowing someone in the face. This is really for if they're pursuing you. When they come into close enough contact, throw up an elbow at them. If you decide to do this, make sure your fist is clenched. This is good for two reasons. First, you can go in for a punch, and if you miss, you can always follow up with an elbow. Secondly, you're going to do more damage when your fist is clenched. The reason is, if you have your hand open and you throw an elbow, it's not going to have as much weight and force behind it as it would with a clenched fist. Now again, this is only for close encounters. Don't be stupid by running in, throwing elbows, hoping that something is going to land. You'll be putting yourself in more danger by willingly getting closer to your attacker.
5.
Breaking out of restraints. Okay, so let's say that you've been captured and have been bound to a chair. There are two ways you might be bound. They'll either tie you there with duct tape or they'll tie you there with a rope. Luckily for you, there's a way to escape from both. Tape is rather easy, but you're going to have to wait until your kidnapper is out of the room to do this. If your hands are bound together by the wrist, simply raise both arms above your head. When you've done this, thrust them down in opposite directions with force. It shouldn't take more than a few attempts, as duct tape is rather weak. As for rope, this one is a little bit more tricky. When your attacker is tying your hands together, don't have your hands together in a palm-like fashion. That's what they want you to do, as when they've tied your hands together with palms being together, it's virtually impossible to break out of. Instead, put your hands together as clenched fists. That way, when they've tied your wrists together, you can then flatten your hands out, thus having more room to move your hands about. This means that you'll have a better chance of escaping.
4.
Vulnerable points on the human body. If you're being attacked and have no chance of running, just remember all the vulnerable points. When you're being attacked, you've got every right to fight back, and if your main goal is to simply escape, make sure to target one of the points shown on this chart. By targeting these points, you're almost guaranteed to escape within seconds of your encounter with your attacker. But if possible, use the element of surprise against your attacker, because if they see you running up to them, they may be able to catch your attack. That's why you need to let them come to you. If there's no place you can run, that is. When they're close enough, strike them as hard as you possibly can. Do this swiftly and quickly before your attacker has a chance to recover and figure out your methods. This will only enrage them more when they recover.
3.
Rule of thumb. Now let's just say your attacker has grabbed you by the wrist and they have a tight grip. Keep calm. There is a way to get out of it. You can escape from a hand grip by using the rule of thumb, which is all you need to do is rotate your hand toward the attacker's thumb. Don't do this slowly though. You want to be fast with this motion. Make it a quick, sharp jerk and make a break for it, or knee them in the nether regions while they're trying to figure out what just happened. And if he has a tight enough grip, again, while he's distracted by you trying to break free, once again, kick them as hard as you can in the groin. Either way, you're immobilizing them regardless of whether or not you break their grip.
2,
Pepper spray. Pepper spray is incredibly lethal. If you don't have pepper spray, we recommend buying a can, just as long as you use it responsibly. But the thing about pepper spray is that nobody keeps it somewhere where it's going to be useful. Most people tend to just hide it away in their purses. This is a big no-no. Instead, if you can find room for it, try and keep it in your coat pocket or another pocket. That way, if you're confronted by an attacker, you can immobilize them within seconds without any struggle. Pepper spray more or less renders attackers useless for around 20 minutes, and even when they recover, they're still pretty useless as their sight will be less than 50%. So this should give you time to make a break for it and call the police.
1,
Inanimate objects. So if you're defenseless and are being pursued by an attacker, all bets are off. You have every right to defend yourself any way you see fit, just so long as it's not fatal. If you carry some inanimate objects, use them. Have hairspray in your bag, that'll work nicely as a makeshift mace. Have a scarf, throw that on your attacker's face to briefly blind them, thus allowing you to either run or to kick them in the groin. Have a purse? Great, that'll work nicely as a way to shield yourself from a knife attack. But the one thing you're going to want to use is a set of keys. Now you're probably thinking, well, how on earth is that going to be of any help? Well, if you have the feeling that you're being followed, simply have your keys placed between each of your fingers, ready in case you're about to be attacked. If it does happen, you've got makeshift knuckle dusters ready to do some damage if necessary. And that's our list. Did we leave any out that you know about? Let us know in the comments section below. Please remember to subscribe and tap the bell button so you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more elite facts.